What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing the exciting changes that just took place within the update of WordPress 4.9. This is the last major release of WordPress within the 2017 cycle before we move on to the 5.0. So what exactly changed? Well, in this video we're going to cover all of those. There's a new browsing experience within the customizer. You can now save and schedule your changes in the customizer as well and share that with other people to view. There's a new gallery widget within WordPress 4.9. There's now an add media button within the text widget. There's OEmbed support outside of the post content. And now something that a lot of people have been wanting for a very long time, there's easy shortcode support within the widget area as well. One of the most exciting changes is if you like to customize some of the CSS or some of the code, you can now safely do so within the code editor built into WordPress. There's syntax highlighting, and there's some more information to make it a lot easier for you to make sure you're not making mistakes. But before you update your website, make sure you scan it for any security issues, take a full backup of your database and your files, and then go forward and update your site. So let's jump on the computer and let's take a look at some of these changes. Alright, so before we begin, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification icon so that way when I release a new video, you'll be notified. If you want to learn how to code your own WordPress theme, you can check out this video right here. And I also have a bunch of videos on some of the best WordPress plugins and themes you could use for your website. So definitely check those out. Once the video is done, I'll create a blog post and I'll put it on my website as well, PixemWeb.com. You just go to the blog section and you'll be able to see that blog post. Alright, so I'm going to be using my demo website over here for this demonstration of the latest features within WordPress 4.9. So the first thing I recommend doing is going to your dashboard. I definitely recommend scanning your website first. And I like using the WordFence plugin because you can easily scan your website. You want to do this to make sure that there's no security issues on your site before you take a backup. Once you're done with your scan, use your favorite backup plugin. There's a bunch of free ones out there. The one that I use on my website and on all my clients' websites is Backup Buddy. You go to Backup and just take a complete backup of your website before you update. That way, if there's any issues, you could always restore from a clean backup. You know it's clean because you just took a scan with WordFence or any other security plugin that does scanning of your site. If you want to see what's new, we can go over here to the URL, change that to the About, and this will give you some information about what's new within the latest version of WordPress 4.9. And as I mentioned, this is the last major release of WordPress for the calendar year 2017. The next one will be WordPress 5.0, and that's going to be a major update. Alright, so you can take a look at some of the changes. Gives you a good description of what has been improved, what's been modified, and what's been changed. And we're going to go over all of these right now. You can take a look at the credits, you can take a look at the freedoms, and the privacy. Alright, but for the first thing we're going to go over is we're going to go to the customizer. So I'm going to go to Appearance and Customize. And now let's say you're going to change your active theme. So then you go to change. It'll show you all your installed themes. And then you can look at all the themes on WordPress.org. So that's a nice usability enhancement in the way you can view and install themes on your website, straight from the customizer in an easier to view way. Now, if you want, you could also schedule your changes. So let's say I'm going to go over here and I say I'm going to change my blog layout to the default layout of content and sidebar. Now you can either save draft, or you could publish it immediately, or you could schedule it. And what's cool about this is you could choose when that's going to take place. Or you can just save the draft, and then you could even copy the URL. So if you want to share the changes with somebody else, if you need their approval or you just want their feedback, you just copy this URL right here. I'm going to open up an incognito window. And now you see the default layout. But if we go to the website without using that URL, you see here I have the grid layout. So this is the changes that I saved the draft to within the customizer. And that URL you can share with anybody. They don't have to be logged in. They can preview the changes you made. And this is the actual live website itself. So that's pretty cool. So now another change that took place within the WordPress 4.9 update is if you go to Appearance and go to the Widget section, you now have this gallery option over here. So if you put this, let's say, right there, you can now select your images, you can add images, give it a title, and you can create a nice gallery of the photos you have right there within the widget section of your website. Now, if you want more advanced functionality, you will have to use a third-party plugin. But for a basic gallery implementation, this is pretty cool. And now you also have OEmbed support. So let's say you're going to go, create another widget area. And let's say we're going to put in, let's say, a video link over here. Before, this was only available within the actual post or page or your custom post types with the OEmbed support. But now, it's also supported within your widget areas. So that's a nice usability enhancement right there. And you also have the Add Media button right here, that you could choose any of the images within your media gallery, or you could upload files. And you have some other options as well. So that's new to WordPress 4.9. Now, something that people have been wanting for a long time, and I actually did a video on how you can make this happen, which is to add the functionality for shortcode support within your widget areas. So again, you would just choose a widget area, add widget, and you would take your shortcode and you would just paste it right there. So let's say I'm going to go over here, open that in a new tab. I'll grab this shortcode right there. And you would just paste it as normal. And that shortcode will be functional on the front end of your website. So shortcode support is now much easier to implement within your sidebars. All right, so let's delete that. Now, one of the really cool features is the syntax highlighting. So let's go back to the customizer, go to additional CSS, and let's say you're going to change some of the CSS for your website. So I'm going to put in the body element right there. And you see I automatically get the X over here because there's going to be expected braces in order to properly format your CSS. So now that X goes away. So let's say I go down here. Let's say I put in the color. You see it's expecting something additional. Put in the semicolon. Still expecting something else. And put in the semicolon there. So that's the, we're targeting the color of the text itself within the body element. We have our colon right there, followed by the semicolon. But we have to put in a value. So let's say we're going to say, make it like a dark gray or something. And you saw the X goes away. So syntax highlighting is new, and it'll help you make sure that you're coding properly within WordPress itself. Now, what about if you go to the appearance or plugins, and you would typically see the editor functionality, but I disabled that on my live website. I do that for security purposes, because if somebody does gain access to the back end of your WordPress powered website, they can change some of the code right there within the editor. So for security reasons, I do disable that. So let me jump on my local server and I'll show you how that looks. All right, so now I'm on my local server. And if you go to the appearance and editor, or the plugins and editor, you now get a heads up. You appear to be making direct edits to your plugin in the WordPress dashboard. We recommend that you don't. Editing plugins directly may introduce incompatibilities that break your site, and changes may be lost in future updates. And some more information here as well. So this gives you a good heads up, so you can click I understand or just go back. So that's a good heads up to make sure that you don't make a mistake and that you're not making changes that'll get overwritten when an update to the plugin or themes are done by the original developer. Now there's a lot of other changes that are taking place under the hood, but these are some of the most basic ones that you're going to find very useful when you're managing your WordPress website. So again, make sure that you scan your website first using a plugin like the WordFence with their scan functionality feature. Then take a full backup of your database and your files. Once that's done, go ahead and update your website. Again, if you want to be reminded of the latest changes and you want to get that About page back, you can just go up here to the URL bar, replace the word index with About, and that'll bring you back over here. And you can read up on some of the changes that have just been made to WordPress 4.9. I'll also be creating a blog post and I'll put it on PixemWeb.com, so definitely check that out. And finally, this is the last major update to WordPress for calendar year 2017. Next up in 5.0, we can expect Gutenberg to be directly implemented within WordPress. That's going to be a major update, so make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'll give you some heads up on what to expect. I also have another video that goes over Gutenberg and how you can test it out locally on your computer so you can start getting the hang of how it works. I'll leave a link in the cards in the upper right hand corner, and check out the description area for more information as well. Alright, so hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave your comments down below. If you want to learn how to code a WordPress theme, just go over to my channel and take a look at this Learn How to Code a WordPress Theme. This is a very in-depth tutorial on how to make a theme that you could use for yourself or any of your clients' websites. Alright, so hopefully the video helped. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.